Greetings gastronauts, this is Keith Cooks. I'm Keith and today I'm going to show you one of the classic British roast Sunday dinners. Roast lamb shoulder with mint sauce. So I've been asked to do this by David John French, who actually asked for roast lamb shoulder with all the trimmings. I'm not entirely sure what all the trimmings are, but you know, roast lamb, mint sauce, roast potatoes, token veg and gravy. So I think a lot of people are scared of doing a traditional British Sunday roast, whatever kind of meat it is. But there's no reason to be. It's all a matter of organisation and getting everything cooked and kept warm for the time when you're ready to plate it up. So quite easy to do really. Let's do it. Ingredients for the roast lamb. Half a shoulder of lamb, that's about 800 grams. Obviously if you've got a whole one, that would be bigger and take longer to cook, but I'm just doing this for me and Mrs. Keith Cooks. And a small onion, a stick of celery, small carrot, big sprig of fresh rosemary and a couple of cloves of garlic, and also secret magic ingredient, anchovy paste. Now I don't know if you can actually buy this stuff, but I make my own. This is just, you know, 4 or 5 anchovies ground up with the back of a knife and mixed with some oil, and it's pure umami. It's wonderful. So you want to get your oven preheating to 170 degrees Celsius if it's a fan oven, or 190 if it isn't. And what I'm going to do is make a little bed of vegetables, carrot, celery and onion in the bottom of the roasting dish. Basically that just adds flavour to the juices that come out and will help you to make an outstandingly wonderful gravy. And just top and tail the onion, but keep the skin on, and slice it and cut your rosemary into little lengths. And now make holes and get some anchovy paste in there, and then a sprig of rosemary and a sliver of garlic, and do that for all of those. Okay, looking a bit like a garden. And now we pop it on top of the vegetables and just put some boiling water up to about the level of the meat. And that goes in the oven for, well, I'm going to do it medium, so it needs 7 minutes per 100 grams. If you want it more cooked than that, you know, overcooked, 10 minutes per 100 grams. So this will take, I reckon, 56 minutes. Now to make the mint sauce, I've washed the leaves and I'm going to chop them very finely. Chop, chop, choppity chop. And throw that in a jug. Pour on some boiling water. Add a teaspoon of sugar and a tablespoon of vinegar and a pinch of salt. Just give that a stir, and when that's cooled down a bit I'll taste it and maybe adjust the sugar and vinegar levels to get a nice balance. So when you take the meat out of the oven, turn the heat up as far as it will go. Right, the meat is ready, so I've just measured its internal temperature. It's about 70, which is fine for lamb. So I'm going to stick it on a plate, cover it in foil and let that rest for about 20 minutes while I get on with everything else. So back to the mint sauce. I'd actually put more liquid in than was needed, so I've strained it off. I'll just put a bit more back in. That's more like it. So I'll stick that in the fridge and it'll soak up the liquid a bit and thicken. Now to do the roasties, I peeled and chopped some potatoes into slightly larger than bite-sized pieces and boiled them in salted water for about 15 minutes until almost cooked. And drain off your spuds and just whiz them around in a colander to roughen up the edges. Saw a guy do this on MasterChef one time. He did, I think it was MasterChef, some competition, and he did one at a time, painstakingly, which took him 15 minutes and made everybody else late. And he didn't win. Then coat them in oil, sprinkle on some bits of rosemary and a pinch of salt. And that goes in the oven for about 20 minutes, and you'll want to turn them over 2 or 3 times during that time. So to start making the gravy, I'm going to drain off the liquid that the lamb was cooked in, or that it exuded. Okay, to make the gravy, I've got the jus from the meat, and also I've added some chicken stock, because those chefs who think that you can actually make enough gravy to satisfy a Yorkshireman with what drips off the meat are just wrong. So sift in some flour and stir that in to thicken it. And there'll also be some juices come off the meat when I carve it, and those will go in the gravy as well. Okay, so I'm going to carve the meat, and I'll put that jus in the gravy. I know a song about that. In the gravy. My little joke. So, where to start? I'm not an expert carver, by the way, so... And also, yeah, shoulder of lamb, the bone in it is like a blade, so it's kind of tricky to navigate. But look at that meat, that is just perfect. Pink, juicy, gorgeous. Oh yeah. So look at that, that is a gorgeous looking roast dinner. And a lovely, lovely gravy. And of course, some homemade mint sauce. And some lovely, lovely gravy. And I know what this tastes like already, of course, chef, but you know. That'll do for me. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Now please share it with all your friends on social media. Subscribe to this channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and don't forget the amazing website that has all the details of all the recipes. And thank you for watching. Come back soon.